So, good morning, everybody. And so we start off a little bit better news. I mean, we had a big number yesterday, but we're still going in the wrong direction. So, as of today, we have 2,066 cases, positive cases of the coronavirus in Albany County. 580 people under mandatory quarantine. That's an increase of 13 new positive cases. That brings us up to 84 active cases as today. And obviously, our concern has been with the 4th of July and big gatherings. So one of the reasons why I talked about yesterday, the big numbers and that party on Hudson Ave that Dr. Whalen and I talked about yesterday was one of the reasons we had a big increase in positive numbers. But we do have 5 more confirmed positive cases from that party. That's that's a total of 11 people so far from the party that have caught the coronavirus. So, and there was more than 200 people at this party. So we're encouraging anyone there that was at the Hudson Street gathering over the weekend to please contact the health department, and Liza will tell you more. To contact the health department, they'll set it up that you can go to UAlbany and get tested. So it's very important for everyone that was at huge gatherings like this that weren't social distancing. Please go get tested, wear a mask, protect the people around you. No, we're not trying to scare people. No, we're not trying to, make this bigger than it is. But these are the setbacks that are going to continue to put us in the wrong direction. Why we did so much work working together to move forward. Also, out of the new numbers, we also know that we have 4 cases that are healthcare workers, and 2 of which were at our Shaker Place with the weekly testing that they get done. But the good news is, going forward, we still only have 2 people hospitalized, so that hasn't changed. No one in ICU, which is great. Our hospital beds are still in great shape. We're still not, that number hasn't gone up. And our hospitalization rate stays the same from yesterday at 0.09. All good stuff. Our average for the last 5 days goes up a little bit, like 0.8, but it's at 16.8 new positive cases in the last 5 days. So that's a thing we're going to continue to watch. Some of the other good stuff, and it is good stuff because we're going in the right direction. But we had 6,256 people complete quarantine. 1,982 tested positive for the virus, have recovered, but that's an increase of 6 new people have recovered, which is, it's good stuff. And I'll let Dr. Whalen talk more about this because I'm not the doctor here. But I will say this. We're not trying to scare you. We're not trying to put out there that what this virus is. I know people keep comparing it to the flu season. People die from the flu. They're over it. The kids don't get signs or symptoms. Well, this Hudson Park's a prime example, right? You have all these kids, over 200, come together, not social distance, and now they're infected and they spread it to other people. Thank goodness that none of them have gotten sick and ended up in the hospital or ICU. Thank God. That might not be the fact for people that they expose. So as you sit there and you go forward and you think about everything, it is there. It hasn't gone away. It's one of these things that we continue to try to make sure we educate the public, have these daily press conferences. That's where we were cutting back because we were doing everything in the right direction. I'm not trying to scare the 18 to 39-year-olds, but it's great that you are not immune. You're carrying it. You are going forward with it, but you just don't have signs and symptoms. So we're asking you, please get tested, and when you're out in your social gatherings, wear masks, stay 6 feet apart, and do the right thing for everyone in the community. And I know the college kids are back, and we're going in that direction, and that's good. We want to see that. We want to get back to some type of normalcy. But we can't if we're not working together to continue to do the right stuff. So please, if you were at big gatherings after the 4th of July, please, by all means, please get tested. One of the questions I continue to get from certain people and questioning me, well, why didn't we see a big spike in the numbers for all the protests? All these people gathered, 11,000 people in downtown Troy. All the protests in the city of Albany and Schenectady, why aren't the numbers spiking after that? Most of them, 99%, had masks on, but they're in that age group of what Dr. Will and I have talked about from the smart board and everything, or the dashboard, I should say, we talked about. They have no signs or symptoms, so they're not getting tested. Did the number spike in that category? Yeah, we've showed you the age group 20 to 29 has dramatically taken off from all other age groups, the ones that get tested. So how many of these kids aren't getting tested, that have it, don't care that they have it because it doesn't affect them? So, we offer testing for people that went to the protest, not just for healthcare workers and first responders. We offered it for everybody. And we wanted to do the science, and I know Dr. Whalen's team wanted to do it, to dive into it, to see how many kids really are affected walking around that age group. And it's a lot more than we put out every day or every week when we put the numbers up. And you can go to the Albany County website and go to the dashboard, and you can see that number. That number would probably be 10 times higher if these kids would come forward and get tested. So talking about that, you can go to UAlbany or Seth Q Arena. Please call the 1-888-364-3065 number, as always. And as always, our mobile testing site is up for appointments. Please come out to the mobile testing sites, 518-465-4771. Rate Aid on Colony, as always, go to rateaid.com. Our Priority 1 in Guilderland, as always, there's the number for you. Please make the appointments. It's simple. And saying it's just simple, I can't say it any clearer. I know I like to stutter at times and speak over myself. But it's very easy to stop the spread by doing 4 things. Wear a mask for face covering, social distancing, cough into your arm, and wash your hands frequently. That's it. Pretty basic, right? Pretty basic. So again, please wear your mask out in public. Don't wear it with under your chin. Dr. Whalen's explained it 1,000 times, and I hate to say this. I think of every time I see someone not wearing it, I go, oh, Liza. I just think it because, when you walk into a restaurant or so get a coffee and they got it hanging under their nose or their chin, yes, and I'm tired of the jokes of the people driving around in their car by themselves with a mask on. I get it. But look we're in this together, and we'll get through this together. Working together, we'll get through this. It's time for us, and that's what I love about Albany County in New York State. We come closer together in times like this. And to the people doing the right thing, thank you. But Dr. Whalen.
Thanks, County Executive McCoy. So as we just heard, there's an additional 5 cases associated with the 4th of July party at Hudson Avenue in Albany. And we would like to encourage anyone who is at that party to be tested and contact the Albany County Department of Health, and we can assist with facilitating testing. Please contact us at 518-447-4640, and we will be able to assist you to get a quick test. It's very important for control of COVID for us to be able to identify and appropriately isolate individuals that test positive as quickly as possible. Especially because we know in the younger age group that many people are asymptomatic. Knowing that you're positive really helps empower you to make better decisions. We, every day, have to do contact tracing for people that may be quite ill with COVID, and we ask, who are your contacts? Who were you in touch with? And I ask all those in the younger age group to think of this as a personal responsibility, because you don't want someone who's quite ill to say that you were the contact. Please think of others. Think of yourself as well, because there are younger people that do get serious illness, that do get hospitalized, and that very rarely do die from COVID. This is not common, this is not usual, but it's not impossible. And the bigger concern, of course, is that you could infect unknowingly someone that would be more likely to have a severe illness. So please consider this on a daily basis. We understand the inconveniences, we understand the want and need to socialize, but these control measures are more important than ever. We've been through this in New York already. We do not want to get to where we were in April again. And it's easy once we start seeing a rise in cases to get what we call exponential growth. So we can start to see, 2 cases become 7 cases, become 12 cases, et cetera, in a very short time. And as we talked about yesterday, what has happened in the past is that first we see a spike in cases, and then we start to see a spike in hospitalizations, and then we see a spike in deaths. We don't want that to happen again. What we said at the start of this was what you do now, what you do today, what you do tomorrow will influence what happens in Albany County in 2 weeks' time. So please be mindful of this. Please continue to wear masks in public. It is a simple thing to do, and it helps the spread. It helps very much the spread. Wear your masks, frequent hand washing, and, limit social gatherings. Really limit them according to guidelines, and help prevent further exposures and infections.
Thank you, Liza. I appreciate that. So, again, for the nonprofits, businesses out there, churches, anyone that needs the hand sanitizer, please go to our Times Union Center. As always, we got the 2-gallon jugs that you can pick up off of Market Street. It's on the ramp and behind the Times Union Center, but you can call the number at 518-487-2023, 8 a.m. to 6. Also, for our mental health, I want to thank Dr. Giordano and his staff. They've been phenomenal talking to people, and our numbers continue to go up, and then they go down, and we adjust the times accordingly. But it's still available 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5, area code 518-269-6634. And for our 24-hour sexual assault hotline, as always, area code 518-447-7716. And our United Way number 211 in the New York State hotline, as always. Please, people, call that. If you have an enforcement issue, you have an issue going on, like I was glad to see that Walmart now is doing the right thing. I wish they did it 18 weeks ago, but they're doing the right thing now. And, we can all learn how to do this correctly. And again, I will say this, and I had a discussion with somebody yesterday when I was walking down the street about wearing masks, and they didn't want to wear a mask. And I'm like, well, then don't go into business and just keep your 6 feet away from everyone. You have that right, but you have an obligation for not just your own health and safety, but for the people around you. And that's what I said to the gentleman. I'll say gentleman because it got a little heated. But I said to him, I go, look, you have the right not to go in there and get coffee. You have the right not to go get a sandwich. Order out, pick up, delivery. Think of the people there that are, again, just trying to make a living, just trying to put food on their table or pay their bills after not working for a couple of months. Think about that person that has to go in there and has no choice, and they don't want to argue with you whether to wear a mask or do the right thing or social distancing. A lot of the restaurants have done neat things. They put little footprints on the floor to keep people separated. I love the ingenuity that companies have come up with. A lot of the mom and pops businesses that are doing things differently. It's good. It's all good stuff, and it's for their safety and it's for our safety. So please keep that in mind. And as always, we're, Dr. Will and I do try to decide whether or not to do this every day, or we're trying to cut back, as and do one a week if need to, or 2. But as these numbers continue, and I hope it's just a spike from 4th of July, and I'm hoping by tomorrow or next week these numbers continue to go back down to where it was, 1, 2, 3 new a day, or 0, which would be perfect. We will adjust and decide how we're doing forward. But for right now, it's a priority for us to get the message out there again, to continue to tell people, you want to have a social gathering, 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart, and wear your mask. That's all we ask. Thank you.